Lightning. The jagged sword of the sky. 100 times every second, somewhere on Earth, lightning strikes. A vivid display of brute electrical power. On August 6, 1997, Christine Fram is hard at work as an auto mechanic in East Vancouver, Canada, when the worst thunderstorm in 20 years passes overhead.
And I was just really jumpy, and thunder would hit, and I'd just be like, ah! The guys would just laugh. But it helped to sort of laugh it out, made me feel more comfortable.
For the guys in the shop, it's just a little rain. But for Fran, this storm will change her life.
I remember there was this big blue flash in my hand, and the loudest explosion I've ever heard.
When coworkers check her, one of her gloves has been melted where the lightning shot into her hand and out of her rubber boot.
First I felt pain, and it went up my hand, up my arm, down through my torso, and down through my leg. Then everything went numb, and it felt like things were just shutting down.
We all want to believe this could never happen to us, but lightning kills more than 1,000 people a year and injures many thousands more.
Being struck by lightning has totally changed my life. I'm not the person I used to be.
Christine may still be alive, but now she suffers from chronic pain, memory loss, and confusion.
It's like there is no real past. I don't remember what I did yesterday, so yeah, when I wake up in the morning, it's like it's starting over. I start over every day.
Every year around the world, lightning causes untold suffering and millions of dollars of damage. But what if we could tame this terrible power? What if we could actually harness a thunderbolt and safely redirect it before it strikes? In the past, scientists have experimented with lightning rods. From Benjamin Franklin's famous key to rockets and wires sent into the sky to trigger a controlled strike. But to defy the gods of lightning, we'll need to move beyond the kite and key technology of Ben Franklin.
Full throttle on the top! Okay. Charging! Hold on! Go! You ready yet? Ready! Okay, fire! Try it!
Today, scientists are developing a new way to draw killer lightning right out of the clouds and diffuse its destructive power. The High Voltage Laboratory at the University of New Mexico, one of the world's top facilities for research on atmospheric electricity. Physicists Jean-Claude Diels and Patrick Rambo are in charge.
Let's just see if we can get that thing to lock then, for example.
Their goal, to control lightning and divert the electrical strike away from where it can do any damage. But this time, they're doing it with lasers. This fast-pulse ultraviolet laser is among the most powerful in the world. It will have to be, to take on a primal force of nature. Lightning is really just a very large spark, erratic and unpredictable. It begins inside a thundercloud, where water droplets and ice crystals crash into each other, creating positive and negative particles. Particles that form electrical fields. These fields, in turn, create ionized channels that run downwards until the electricity jumps the gap near the ground, and a second wave of current shoots back up. The result, a shock wave and an intense flash of light.
Voltage levels can reach sometimes tens of millions of volts between cloud and ground.
It's said that lightning never strikes the same place twice, but here in the lab, it strikes dozens of times a day as they generate artificial lightning on demand. The plan, to provoke controlled discharges out of the sky, to get the lightning before it gets us. But first they've got to learn how to control it. Unlike a normal lightning bolt, which strikes in a random jagged pattern, every one of these blasts is perfectly straight, just like the laser that triggered it.
So we'll use a laser, a short pulse ultraviolet laser, that will ionize a path from cloud to ground, and effectively these will provide a conduction path that is a straight line.
Although the beam is highly focused, it pulses so fast it won't even singe paper. When the laser is switched on, the light beams through a window into a charged chamber. Following the laser's path, the lightning is triggered instantly. A flash of light and a clap of artificial thunder. The laser system works by stripping electrons off the air's oxygen molecules. The idea is that the stripped-off electrons will act like a continuous wire in the sky, a laser-induced lightning rod that reaches into the clouds and pulls the lightning safely to the ground.
You create essentially a long channel of electrons, so it really does become effectively a big wire in the sky.
Soon, they will take this technology out of the laboratory and into the field,
Look at that storm over there with that dark base, round base.
where it will one day be able to protect an area of 2 square miles.
You'll know roughly when a lightning strike is going to occur. You'll be able to send the light to roughly the area where you think it'll come from, and it will be reliably triggered every time by the laser beam. That's the hope.
The results promise to save lives, property, and the futures of others like Christine Fram. Field experiments in Japan and around the world are already beginning to show signs of success. But it will take more than a decade before we begin to tame this electric demon. And as lightning storms continue to ravage our continent and our world, we have a long way to go before we can claim control over one of the most powerful forces of nature. These days, even the electricity under our command seems hard to control. With blackouts and shortages, the power is gridlocked. Are we heading back to the darkness? What happens when the power runs out?